I think my question would be this, and I feel like this might be a little edgy or risky, but everyone's talking about emotional loyalty, but sometimes I question whether we really are ready as an industry and as brands to get behind that. Because it does mean going to a highly personalized level. It does mean, kind of changing our voice and having that voice be highly segmented. And so the fact that we've been able to prove through what we do that understanding the emotional drivers drives better outcomes because you have a better voice, you can bring your cadence back and not have so much quantity, get to quality and drive the same impact or better impact. I wonder, have we gone beyond the headline? Do we really believe it? Or is it just the thing we have to have an answer for? Because for us, we have the answer for it. And more we're seeing people take advantage of it. But Mark, you and I have been around long enough that if somebody had the answer to figuring out how to tap to the emotion, you would think everyone would be drinking from that well all day. And so my question, I guess, would be, is emotional loyalty a headline? Or do we as an industry really believe in its impact? Because I know for Kobie, we do.
I think, for me, the interesting question that I might ask more broadly speaking with competitors is, how are you thinking about loyalty 5 years out? Because I do think that within our industry, within the work that you see happening in real time, we talk oftentimes about what are the trends and the evolution that we're experiencing right now that we've experienced over the last 12 to 18 months. But if you really think about that moonshot, it's what will loyalty look like in 2025? How much will it dramatically change? And as a competitive set and all the brands that compete and consider loyalty critically important, how are we making moves to get to what will be that future 5 years out? Because I think that's where there's probably likely to be the most tremendous leap from what we see today. But it's also not a very easy question to answer. So I ask that, acknowledging that a 5 year out view is difficult to pinpoint.
Today, it would be like, what can you do to help businesses not only survive, but thrive and get back to normal coming out of the environment that we're in today? What can any of us do to make things better, to make things easier, to give people a break so that they figure out, so they can have a chance to recover? So there's that. But what I would also ask us all, and what I try to think about a lot of times is, especially when I'm talking to brands, is if you weren't tied to existing processes and constraints, what would you really do differently going forward? If you didn't have to worry about, well, we can't do that because our production lines won't, we can't do that because we got our associates, we have a big training issue if we did that, and we can't go back and train 2,000 people. Yeah. But what would you really do differently? What could you really do differently to make an impact? If you could start it all over, how would you do it? And make it even better than it is today? Because sometimes we get stuck because of existing processes. And my question to all of us is what can we really do? What can we really do differently and better? And then once we figure out what that is, then how do we go about doing it? Because we know it's the right thing to do.
So I would say I've always been enamored by one of my favorite brands from college, right, up in the Northeast, Dunkin' Donuts. And for anyone who's from the Northeast, they know the strength of that brand. And so I kind of lost connection with them over the past few years, not as many Dunkin' Donuts in Virginia, but we recently partnered with them for our Fuel Rewards Coalition program. And I've been digging back into them. And I think that they have built this really solid platform around digitizing the storefront and really creating a digital customer experience. So I think they've done it well, and I think they've done it quickly. And so I would really just want to know what changes they've seen and how their customers view the brand And then really the changes that they're seeing and how customers are interacting with the brand now that they have this really solid digital storefront, because it's something that we're working hard on at PDI.